The Boeing AH-64 Apache is the #1 attack helicopter in the United States Army. The Apache, equipped with powerful and advanced weapon systems, has proven to be an essential component of the U.S. military's current force structure. The first Apache took to the skies on September 30, 1975, but it wasn't until April of 1986 that the Army gave the aircraft full operational status. From 1975 to 1984, the helicopter was manufactured by Hughes Helicopters, now known as MD Helicopters, and from 1984 to 1997, it was manufactured by McDonnell Douglas, and lastly Boeing. As of April 2020, 2,400 have been manufactured. The AH-1 Cobra, which the U.S. Marine Corps flew until 2020, was intended to be replaced by this new aircraft. With a crew of 2, including the pilot and co-pilot gunner, the Apache is equipped with the M230 30mm chain gun, Hydra 70, and CRV-7, definitely not to be confused with the Honda CRV 7-seater. The AGM-114 Hellfire missile, the AIM Stinger, and the 70mm air-to-ground rockets. The fuselage length of this helicopter is 49 feet 5 inches, or 15.06 meters. The height is 12 feet 8 inches, or 3.87 meters, and the maximum takeoff weight is 23,000 pounds, 10,433 kilograms. The maximum airspeed is 227 miles per hour, or 366.32 kilometers per hour, or 197.25 knots, while the cruise speed is 165 miles an hour, which is 265 kilometers per hour, or 143 knots. During Operation Just Cause in Panama in December 1989, the AH-64 was blooded. The warplane supported an assault on Panamanian strongman Manuel Noriega's Panamanian Defense Forces Comandancia Facility, PDF. The Hellfire missiles of the Apache helicopters were so accurate that, according to General Carl W. Steiner, you could fire that Hellfire missile through a window 4 miles away at night, which he stated in an official document published by the Joint History Office of the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, or JCS. Task Force Bayonet killed 24, wounded 7, and seized 463 PDF combatants throughout the fighting. Apaches have also destroyed around 500 Iraqi tanks and a substantial number of armored personnel carriers and other equipment. Apaches also demonstrated the ability to perform when called upon, clocking thousands of combat hours at readiness rates of over 85% throughout the Gulf War, according to a report. In the latter case, on March 24, 2003, 32 AH-64s were ordered to Najaf to launch an attack inside enemy lines against the Iraqi Republican Guard Medina Division. According to Air Force Magazine reporter Richard J. Newman, the corridor near Najaf, through which the Apaches planned to fly, was moderately inhabited, so commanders decided against the typical suppression fire, primarily artillery, used to silence enemy forces that could threaten the helicopters. That opening provided the Iraqis with one of the war's rare battlefield successes. One Apache and its 2-person crew were shot down by a barrage of small arms and anti-aircraft fire. The raid's other helicopters retreated before the operation could be completed. The Integrated Helmet and Display Sighting System, or IHADS, worn by both the pilot and the gunner, makes the Apache revolutionary, not the helicopter's flight surfaces or performance parameters. The IHADS, as the name suggests, is a helmet with an attached eyepiece. Wearers of the eyepiece are able to conduct a variety of functions just by moving their eyes. For example, the Apache's M230 chain gun can move in rhythm with the operator's eye, thanks to the IHAD's eye-to-gun synchronization. Consider the possibility that an Apache member may acquire and aim at a target merely by gazing at it through the IHAD's eyepiece. The Target Acquisition and Designation System, or TADS, on the front of the helicopter provides the images displayed in the IHADS. It employs a thermographic camera and a monochrome daytime television camera to detect lasers and designate targets with an electro-optical sensor and target designator. The Apache resembled an insect and was built to handle frontline services in all weather conditions. Additional sensor systems, including IHADS and TADS, enable the Apache to operate in various challenging environments. PNVS, for example, is a system that allows pilots to see in the dark. Ground Fire Acquisition System, or GFAS, and GPS are also employed by the Apache. It has a 120-degree field of view and can detect and target ground-based weapons in any light condition. In total, the sensor suite of the current Apaches can simultaneously locate up to 256 targets at a distance of 31 miles. Anti-armor, covering force, and escort operations can all be carried out by the Apache. The Apache's M230 chain gun can fire 1,200 30mm rounds in each configuration. The Apache has 16 Hellfire missiles and Hydra 70mm rockets for anti-armor duty. The Apache has a 2.5-hour endurance rate and a top speed of about 150 knots. The Apache, which entered service in 1986, saw its first action during Operation Just Cause, the invasion of Panama, but Operation Desert Storm served as the Apache's grand debut. After a nighttime Apache attack on Iraq's radar network on January 17, 1991, a new fight began. The Apache's fire destroyed 278 Iraqi tanks. The attack helicopter, however, was troubled by logistical and maintenance issues. Thus, Apache flew 20% of the scheduled flying hours during Operation Desert Storm. The Apache has also served in Iraq and Afghanistan in the 21st century. It's been exported to Israel, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, South Korea, Japan, and many other countries, possibly the world's most well-known assault helicopter. The Army says the first test of a new engine for Apache and Black Hawk helicopters was successful. The Army claimed in a statement released on July 7th that the first engine that they tested has completed more than 100 hours of running time since it was turned on for the first time on March 22nd. According to their statement, the Army's next-generation rotorcraft engine was successfully verified and validated during this event. General Electric was awarded a $517 million contract to develop the ITEP engine by the Army in February 2019. However, it took a decade for GE to knock off the Advanced Turbine Engine Company, a joint effort between Honeywell and Pratt & Whitney. However, the coronavirus pandemic has created delays in the ITEP engine's testing and fielding schedules, which have impacted the fairer competitive prototyping effort, which relies on ITEP engines. In a competitive process, the Army chose Bell and Lockheed Martin to manufacture FARA prototypes powered by ITEP engines. For the time being, both businesses are using 3D printed ITEP engines in place of genuine ones. Both companies expect to finish building their prototypes soon. Increased lift capacity and fuel economy are benefits of the new engine's 3,000 shaft horsepower. This fall, preliminary flight rating testing will commence through 2023 as part of a multi-year test campaign to achieve full Army qualification, according to a statement from the military. The engine will undergo a total of 5,000 hours of testing to qualify. The British Army has constructed an AH-64E Apache training school. Middle Wallop in Hampshire, the traditional home of Army aviation, has welcomed the arrival of the latest variant of the AH-64 Apache in preparation for becoming the training school for the new E variant. The AH-64D Apache has been in service with the British Army since 2005, supporting ground forces in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Libya from both land and sea. The Apache D derivative, known as the Apache Mk1, was manufactured in the United Kingdom under license by the Augusta Westland firm. The latest generation, the AH-64E Apache, represents a major improvement in aircraft performance. As for the new design, 673 Squadron Commander Major Paul Watnell said, "New engines, rotor blades, and transmissions allow us to harness this energy. Mk1 had a problem with this in the past. There was too much power in the Rolls-Royce engines for the transmission to handle. Today, we have more power than we can use." The military has placed an order for 50 of these vehicles, which are scheduled to arrive in service in 2025. In addition to the Hellfire Romeo variant, the new AGM-179 Joint Air-to-Ground Missile, or JAGM, is being developed for the new Apache model aircraft. What do you guys think of this U.S. helicopter? Leave a comment below. That's all for today. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon for any new updates. See you in the next one.